From the West Coast to the East Coast and everything between, folks. From Eve After Dark to concerts in the park. We're about to do this, y'all. We're about to do this again. We're about to do it again. We got a guest today, y'all. This is going to be really tight. Really tight. Like I said before, from the West Coast to the East Coast and everything between, folks. From Eve After Dark to concerts in the park. You're live with your boy Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip-hop in the dugout. My Batman, the Batman to my Robin to the Batman. We call him Dusty One, y'all. Stay tuned. Stick around. Got a hot one today, folks. Got a hot one. What up, Doc? How you doing there?
Lonzo, what's up, my dude?
I've been missing my cue for the last 2 weeks back to back. My own damn open, I missed the damn cue. But I got it right. What's happening with you, Doc? Everything good?
Happens to the best of us. Yeah, man, everything's good. I'm looking forward to today's show, man. When you sent me the name, I had to do a little digging, but right away I was very familiar with our guest. You guys are definitely going to enjoy today's show. He's a Long Island legend, and we don't use the word legend around here too often, but this dude put strong. He's the basically his group is the reason why they call it Strong Island. We're going to get into some hip hop today, and it's going to be a real good show, man. I'm looking forward to it. How'd you link up with my man? Hold on, I have his name right here. AJ Rock.
Man, I had to give a shout out to my boy Kerr, Keir, Kerry Walker. He connected with me, man, on the internet. We met at a book signing, I think it was, and he just been wanting to help, like you just came. Just hey, man, you got something going. How can I be down? And I'm like, man, I don't know. We had some things we tried to do. It didn't quite work out. But he said, man, what if I can get you some guests? I said, come on, bring it, because I don't have we don't have time to do that. I'm just dropping off one project and jumping on camera right now. I've been busy all day long, and I'm gonna jump off this project off the camera today and jump back on something else. The first draft of our latest documentary, Road to Easy Street. I got to review that and give some editing comments. So yeah, it's a full day for me, man. So yeah, I appreciate everything he does when it comes to bringing in guests and whatever else he can do. I appreciate it. Much love to you, Doc.
That's what's up. Do we want to bring him on right now, or do you want to start with some topics? I'll leave it up to you, man. What you think?
We're gonna bring him by 20 after.
Oh, perfect. All right, cool. Well, let's jump into a few things to talk about, man. And before we get into it, shout out to the chat. Please make sure you guys hit that like button. If you haven't already, just smash it for us. It really helps get the word out there. And if this is your first time joining the channel, you are tuned into N.W.A. Stories with Lonzo. Please hit that subscribe button. Man, a lot going on, Lonzo. LA is out of control. A couple stories that I wanted to talk with you about today. 6 7-Elevens were robbed in a matter of a 1 hour, 1.5 hour time frame, all in the Long Beach, Bellflower, Lakewood, Downey area. Is crime getting that too out of control, man? Are we going to be able to reel this thing in? Like, it just seems like people are so brazen nowadays, bro.
When you say rob, they just walked in and grabbed a bunch of stuff. They pulled guns on people and took the money.
So there was guns involved. They took the registers. One of the registers was most of the registers were empty. A couple of the registers had $100 in them, less than $100. Basically, these guys are putting their lives in danger, as well as the people that are working there, their lives in danger over less than $100.
If you rob, let me give you something. In today's security-minded small business, mom and pop stores, whatever the case may be, if you think you're gonna rob anything, 7-Eleven, Domino's Pizza, McDonald's, anything, and get any kind of money other than gas money, I mean, not even a full tank, you stupid. You're stupid. With all the cameras, everything is on camera. When you walked in the store, you was on camera. When you walked out the store, you was on camera. When you hit this intersection, you was on camera. They probably gonna follow you to the pad, and you're gonna be on camera. So to sit here and think you could walk into any kind of a retail store, especially a chain store, and get anything of any value, that just shows you didn't do very well in school. You didn't do very well in school, and you don't watch the news. That's got to be one of the dumbest things you can do today is stick a gun in somebody's face, unless you just need a quick, unless you're a junkie or something and just need a quick fix, quick $20, whatever the case may be. But you can bomb up on that. You can get that, man, with you just smiling with a squeegee and a damn bottle of soapy water. You can get that in a few minutes. But to risk your life and your freedom over some chump change, you got to be a real A real special needs chump. I'm out.
And like you said, the cameras everywhere. They're probably just going to follow these guys from 7-Eleven to 7-Eleven all the way back to their home.
Man, and see, it's $100. Maybe these fools are under the impression that because they have the law on the books where you can take merchandise. I don't think that's going to merchandise up to a certain amount of money. I don't think that's going to apply to putting the gun on the cashier and taking the registers. That ain't going to be the same. It was only $100. That should be a misdemeanor. Are you out your goddamn mind?
Yeah.
Is that what you thinking? And do you thinking because that they raised the limit on the petty theft to $9.99 or whatever the case it may be, that he did the same thing for cash too with a pistol involved? No. You finna get you some college time.
Yeah. And like you said, in California, once that pistol is brandished, that takes it to a whole other level.
I don't care if it's a water gun, it's a BB gun, a pellet gun, a nail gun. When you pull out any kind of gun, you got a problem. Everything just changed. Trust me.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm pretty sure next week we'll be talking about these ding dongs getting caught. We'll see how that goes.
Put up, man, free so and so, man, fuck him. Fuck so and so. I'm like, Charles DeWay, fuck him.
For real, man. Hey, this is another big story. This one is made national news. A General Hospital actor, Johnny Wachter, was killed in downtown Los Angeles just a few days ago. Shout out to OG Steve. He says, Dusty and Lonzo, what's good, fellas? Salute. Love you, brother. Thank you so much, man. Hey, yes, Johnny Wachter walked to his car just a couple of days ago this weekend. He noticed a group of people around his car. And as he's walking up, boom. It all turns out they were trying to steal his catalytic converter, which is a huge problem nowadays. I mean, this is what, a $300 piece of metal. You know what I mean? These people just basically wasted their life if they get caught over a $300 piece of metal by killing this actor. Because it's a national news story, so you know the cops are all over it now.
Yeah, my son had his catalytic converter stolen in front of our house. One of his friends came to visit. Her catalytic converter got stolen in front of our house. She got a new one and went home, and he stole that one. Okay. Catalytic converters, some of them, depending on what kind of car they are, they have some precious metals inside of them. A small amount of precious metals that can be mined and refined and used for something, repurposed for something else. I forgot exactly what it was, but it damn sure ain't worth what people prepared to pay for. I mean, prepared to give up to get them. I saw a brother the day though. He caught the cat under his car. He came out with his paint gun and lit his ass up. Literally, I'm talking about not. I'm not saying figuratively. Lit his ass up. Homeboy left there running, left the tools, everything. Another dude caught somebody under his car. He stole his car. He stole. Keep it. I'm keeping yours. When you come to get it, then we'll talk about it. Now, what you gonna do? Homeboy under his car, left his car open, left the door open, left the car running. As he figured I'm gonna be an in and out job. Homeboy jumped in his shit and took off. Homeboy, he running down the street with a damn sawzall in his hand, trying to figure out. Now he got your ID, everything. He know where you live at. He know all about you. So, man. These low-tech fools get on my nerves. Anyway, what else we got, Doc?
Yeah. Well, let's see. This is actually a tweet that I came across, and it's funny, man. It's almost like we're reading minds. It's a Gemini thing. Earlier, you said something about free the homie, and that reminded me of a tweet that I saw that I wanted to discuss with you. It says, the tweet is simple, just like this. Quote, too many free the homies, not enough, don't do it, bros.
Hey, man. That's the problem when you have a street code that it pretty much it endorses crime. When you have a street code like no snitching and other situations like that, that pretty much protect the criminal, fuck the victim. You can't have nothing because if somebody want it, you got to give it to him, and he got the right to take it. No, he don't. And that's what we're dealing with, especially in the hood, man. When you see somebody breaking somebody's house, oh man, I ain't snitching on homeboy. What about the victim, man? What if that's your grandmama's house he's breaking into? Your grandmama's car he's breaking into? Or your car? Would you want somebody to say something? But if it ain't you, you don't give a damn. Nah, man, ain't how it's supposed to go. And the same thing here. Soon as cats get caught, they got every excuse. Oh man, economics. He didn't do well in school. I understand that. And in some cases, I sound like a Republican, man, because you get tired of making excuses for people doing dumb stuff. It's real hard to sit by and let people continue to do dumb stuff and find justifications, textbook justifications for them doing what they do. Yes, that may be the case. If you know that's the case, find a program to put them in to help them overcome whatever problem they're dealing with. If not, what you want me to do? I don't understand. They got one or two, either fix it, then fix it. Okay? Fix it.
Yeah. We got about 10 more minutes till we bring our guest on. And for anyone who wasn't tuned in at the beginning, we have a great hip hop show, a Long Island legend from JVC Force. It's going to go down tonight. We have some good stuff to talk about. Before we get into that, let's take it to the East Coast, Lonzo. And I want to do our lyric bit where I'm going to just recite a lyric to you and you tell me what comes to mind. Maybe go a little bit deeper, tell a story, whatever the case is. But this lyric is plain and simple. The lyrics are not going to be all elaborate and all that. Just sometimes the more plain and simple lyrics are the ones that have the strongest impact, in my opinion, as a hip hop lover. But this week's lyric of the week goes just like this, simple. Self-destruction. We're headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction. We're headed for self-destruction. That's it.
That lyric.
Talk to me about self-destruction, Lonzo, and you know.
That lyric, what, 40 years old, 35, 40 years old?
Yeah, at least almost 40.
About almost 40 years old, and it's still prevalent today. We didn't learn nothing from the 80s. In fact, it's got even worse. I mean, when you were, I'm the last generation that was brought up on discipline in school. You guys, I think you were.
I was the last where your parents had to sign it off, and my mom never signed it off. Yeah,
right. My mama signed up every year. She had a rubber stamp, just bam, bam, bam. Yeah, we'll kick his ass and bring what's left over to me. Okay, all three of us. Okay, me, my sister, and my brother had a rubber stamp this year. You know what had it is? Kick his ass and break whatever's left. Whatever you don't tear off his ass, I'm gonna tear the rest of it off. And it made for a different. We had a different understanding when it comes to life. We had a different set of goals, a different motivation, and we had somebody to answer to. And when I think about, I just spoke about this the other day at another event, and I was talking about Eve After Dark and versus Uncle Jam's Army. Me and all the fellas was had a good conversation, and the difference is I always had someone to answer to. I always had somebody to answer to. And what I mean, Jeff D was the owner of the building. He had a club downstairs. He didn't want my business to affect his business. So we always made sure that my business was in compliance with his requirements so that we all can coexist. That was the whole purpose. So if he saw me doing something stupid that might affect him, he yanked my check. Hey man, that ain't working. You got to figure out something else better than that right there. And was my job to come up with something creative or something alternative so that he keep him happy. Kept him happy for 6 years, then went back to another 36 years. So when you don't have anybody that's checking you, and the only people that you answer to don't care nothing about you. This is what we're dealing with when it comes to hip hop. This is a lot of what we're dealing with when it comes to hip hop. Nobody cares whether the artists are promoting violence, whether they're promoting promiscuousness, or whatever, because the people at the top don't care as long as they make their money. And that's what we're dealing with. That's why we have the problem. Nobody cares if these kids go to the penitentiary stuff for their parents. In most cases, in a lot of cases, not all, parents not in the position to do anything once they get caught up. If your mom and dad ain't got 25, 35, 40 grand to get you a lawyer, because that a public pretender ain't gonna do shit but negotiate you how much time you gonna get. Very seldom do they, unless you got a small minor case, you might get probation. But for the most part, how many months you prepared to do? And this is what, and then meanwhile, we got people that promote the same lifestyle that we're all trying to get away from. I listen to some new artists, some old artists with new music. I'm not gonna get into the names, but I want you to do it yourself. Some old artists with new names still promoting gangbanging. Everybody got an ARP card.
We all know who you're talking about. Use your imagination. Yeah.
Everybody got grandkids. Why are we still doing that? But on Monday, this Sunday, I'm on a panel up in Hollywood for Stop the Violence and anti-gun. But in this same group is promoting, break out the AKs and the 40s and smoking fools. And I'm like, why is one group doing one thing, but you would dare not say anything to the group that's promoting the violence and the shit in the streets? Because they're the ones they listen to. They're not going to be at the seminar that we speaking at. Me, Chuck D, Clientele, and some more folks are going to be on a panel Saturday. Stop the gun violence campaigns. It was initiative. We've been working on this for the last 2 years. We tried to do it last year at Compton College, and it didn't happen. So this year we're doing it at another venue, and it's a gala, the whole 9 yards. And one of the panels is about the violence in hip hop. Well, how do you stop the violence in hip hop? By talking about it. If you ain't taking no actions, if we're not going out there, if we're not boycotting the advertisers that support the stations that play this shit, we ain't gonna get nowhere. Ain't nobody wants to be labeled the new C. Dolores Tucker. That's the first thing. Nobody wants to be because it's not even about the misogyny part. The misogyny part, that's one thing, but the death and the violence part, we tell me we got to accept that too. That's that bullshit. That's that bullshit. That's that bullshit.
Yeah.
I gotta ask
you. Let me ask you, man. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
At one point in time, outside of individuals that do what they do, how has the whole gang thing really benefited our community? Has it been a plus to our community, or has it been a negative to our community? And why are people still doing it 50 years later?
Huge negative. I can't think of one positive thing about gang.
I can't understand what the value is. Anything that I do,
making white executives money, that's about the only positive. They probably think is way positive, but I don't see anything positive about it. Because we've lived in the neighborhoods. We live in the neighborhoods where people die damn near every week.
Me and Unknown had a hell of a laugh of the day. He had me laughing, almost choked to death. He gave me a scenario. He started comparing ages. He said, "Man, how old was Jeff D when you got the club?" I said, "Jeff D might have been 57, 58. Because I got there and I was 21. Jeff D, he died when he was 90. I'm 60 something. So it's, he's 51, 58 when I got to the 58, 59 when I got to the club. How old was your dad? I said, my dad might have been around the same age. He said, could you imagine your dad and Jeff D doing a gangster rap record? Come on, man, it's the same thing.
Isn't that crazy? Hell no, you wouldn't, right?
Could you imagine that shit? So the people that are supposed to be the forefathers and the mentors are still doing what they was doing when they was in their 20s and 30s. Nobody done learned nothing yet.
J. Roos Theory got the coldest line of the night. He says the KKK doesn't have to lift a finger now.
They had to lift a finger God knows how long, man. And we promote our own genocide, and because we could have put a beat to it and it got a nice flow to it, nobody cares. And this is, dude, I tell people all the time, music is the most powerful art form known to man. I got pictures of me in high school wearing my afro and blah, 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 trying to be, because I wanted to be a part of that Sliding the Family Stone movement at first, the hippie type, because the hippies was the shit back in the 60s and early 70s. And then Curtis Mayfield changed his groove from the Imperials to Superfly. And guess who followed his lead? My black ass did too. I got my hair pressed in curls, got me a maxi coat, and I was down to sit. I was down for whatever, put it that way. And all that came from the music, man. So you talking to somebody who firsthand lived the transition from uplifting, damn near spiritual, uplifting, moral, positive music. People get ready. There's a trainer coming and all that. What you call that? Civil rights music of the 70s. I'm a product of that. Then all of a sudden, shit, forget that, Freddie dead. Okay, fuck the train, Freddie dead, and I jumped on I got dead with Freddie. But again, I had to answer to somebody, which was my dad. So when you don't have nobody to answer to, you just kind of you a kite without a tail. You a train up without no tracks. You just running around doing what you're doing, and there is nobody to answer to. And so now, all the people that was doing what they was doing, and now the light and the curtain and came back. The wizard ain't what you thought it was. You done got the eyes, and this here just a man behind the curtain with some smoke and some mirrors and shit, and everybody's falling. All these cats is falling left and right. All that glory, all that money that everybody was so envious of, they falling like flies with a can of Raid in the room. But all because the people up in front of them didn't care. Long as they was making them money. They didn't care who they killed, how many people died behind their music, how much people died behind their alcohol, how many people died, whatever the case may be. They don't give a damn. Then give me my money. But I tell you what, you won't sell their kids the same shit. You won't sell their shit. Yeah. They ain't got to deal with it. I've been saying this since the very beginning. Nobody wanted to hear me back in the 80s, man, because I was a single voice. I saw this shit come a long time ago. I was speaking about it for a long time, and I had no idea it was going to fall the way it's falling now. But with the people that make the money, they live in gated communities. Their kids go to private school. They know this shit is entertainment, but the kids in our community see it as being real life, and that's your problem. They don't vet the artists. They don't care to vet them. If you said you so-and-so, I believe you so-and-so, and I'm gonna follow you because I see somebody just like you in my neighborhood. In their neighborhood, they don't see the same shit. They don't see folks dying on the corner. And, then the news, because it's been so skewed over the last few years, you got only got a few people that's pumping out, that's controlling everything. All the negative stories go out about us, and that gives people the impression that's all we do. And it's we much bigger than that. Much bigger than that. We got about 2 minutes before our guests come in. What else you got for me, Doc?
Yeah, cool, man. Cool. Shoot, I might as well take this time really quick to ask everyone to hit that like button, and please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're about to bring on our guest in a couple minutes, AJ Rock from JVC Force, a Strong Island legend. We're going to give him a nice intro, and I'm really looking forward to, sitting back and hearing him and Lonzo chat it up, two OGs, because I know AJ does a lot of stuff for his community in Westchester County. He's a leader of Black Westchester. He has a newspaper. My man is doing his thing. So I'm just very curious to see how that's going to connect, with the West Coast, and how we can just make a movement, man.
I just found out that just as we were talking on the when he said had a newspaper, I got a newspaper. Exactly. People don't really appreciate newspapers like they used to, because we got so digitized. I have two newspapers. I have two versions. I have a digital version. I also have a hard copy, and I'm doing this, and I got different motivations. My motivation is to affect the image of Compton, to show people what Compton has become and what Compton is becoming. That's my motivation. Compton has had a reputation for over 40 years of being one thing, and it's in the past 20 years. It's been more about something else, but nobody talked about this part. And yeah, we still got our issues, but damn it, we doing much better. I'm gonna bring AJ in right now. Come on, man.
Let's bring him in, man. This is the time. Let me give him a. Go ahead and do that. I'm gonna play a song in the background while you bring it in. Strong Island, JVC Force. Go for it, Lonzo.
All right, coming to the stage right here. N.W.A. show. down, folks. I just want to say we got a lot coming already. We called him AJ. I don't know his stage name, but I know AJ Woodson.
AJ Rock, baby. JVC Force. What up, man?
What up? What up? What up?
Part-time killer, permanent killer, son of Sam killer, the horror in the villa. Unlike the rest of us, I am a killer.
That's a classic, man. Pleasure to meet you, brother.
Pleasure to meet you. And as I told Lonzo earlier on the phone, I am a fan. And for the people on our side of things that don't know who this brother is, I know this is supposed to be about interviewing me. This is the dude who started a lot of stuff off on the West Coast with Dr. Dre and all of them. You might have saw him briefly if you saw the movie Straight Outta Compton. He owned the studio. He was running the club thing. He was doing all that stuff. And a lot of people got their start from this brother. So my hat off to you, because you don't get the credit that you deserve. And they call me a hip hop historian. I couldn't be a hip hop historian if I didn't know the real history. So I just wanted, because my people are gonna be like, who's this cat if they don't know? So I want to let them know ahead of time before I even say a word about me. I want to give you your flowers.
Much love, appreciate it, AJ. Much love. AJ, you wrote a book.
Yes, it's actually my third book. Yes,
the third book. Well, tell me about this. Tell me about this one we got right now. 419, right? 914.
So this is a book. It's called "We Got Our Own Thing." A look at hip hop from the 914. The reason I did this book for two reasons. I had seen a post from Pete Rock, who was upset that a lot of the national 50th anniversary celebrations didn't always include Heavy D and the role that he played in hip hop. And then a lot of people commented on that. And online, I seen every region complain that their region wasn't represented enough in those 50th anniversary celebrations. And I could complain as well, or I'm a writer, so I decided to write about it and give you a look at hip hop from the 914 and show you how important the 914 was to hip hop. And that's what this book is about.
Okay. Now 914 is the area code, right?
914 is Westchester County. Let me say this too, because I explained it in the book, but it's an often asked question. I did the record Strong Island, that's Long Island.
Okay.
And I wrote a book about Westchester County. So I was born in Mount Vernon.
Okay.
Moms and pops moved me to Central Islip, Long Island when I was 7. Parents got divorced. I drove my mom's crazy. I was a rebel without a pause or cause. She sent me back to Mount Vernon to my dad's crib for high school. I've been back and forth. Then I came back to Long Island after high school, got up with my partners B Love and Kirk Azal, who were younger than me, and they were starting to make noise in the neighborhood. And the cats on the block was like, yo, you got to see what Bill and Kurt is doing these days. Took me to one of their house parties. Me and B started trading lyrics throughout the day, throughout the night. Everybody said how good we sounded together. The next day, we was working on some demos and practicing in Kurt's basement. And so basically, both area codes 516 and 914 contributed to who I am. But but Mount Vernon is home. That's where I was born. That's where I live now. And I got a paper called Black Westchester. I document Black life in Westchester. So I wanted to do this book.
How big is your circulation?
Well, we are the paper circulation. We were up to like 50. We were up to like 50,000 before COVID. It's a free newspaper. During COVID, all the places we dropped off the newspaper were closed. Libraries, community centers. You know what I'm saying? All those spots. Some even churches. You know what I'm saying? The black churches. So we cut the numbers down a little bit. But the website, on the website, we're like the little engine that could. It's like two brothers. We got a huge digital footprint. People think we're way larger than we are, and you know our reach is incredible. But you know, it's like two dudes from Westchester just holding it down, represent. And I love the stuff that Joe was talking about because we talk about the same thing. Our responsibility in our community. We want to blame. I live in Mount Vernon. I live in a black-run city.
Okay.
Once they'll hear that, black, the mayor's black, the city council's black, the police commissioner's black, the school superintendent is black, the postmaster is black.
Sound like
you know what I'm saying? But we always want to blame things on the white people and even on Republican. My city is dysfunctional and it's black Democrats trying to politically decapitate other black Democrats. You know what I'm saying? We trying to kill each other. We should be the recipe for criminal justice reform and all that, but we can't get it together in a 4 square mile area. You know what I mean? And we one of the only black run cities like in the Eastern Seaboard. Newark has got a black mayor, but they not black. Philly got a black representative, but they not black. Atlanta's not really, really black. The whole government's not black. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Right.
we're like one of the few black run cities.
Right. Same here. Compton, the same thing. Everything you just said. The sheriff, mayor, city council, school districts, all the school board, everybody's black. Yep.
Our city marshal's black. Everybody's black. Yo,
I'm very familiar. We're a little bigger than y'all. We got about 10 square miles, but still, it is what it is. What's the population out there?
Over 100,000 because we got a lot of buildings. So we the small city that's condensed. And as far as like when everybody's running for state senate, when Hillary Clinton wanted to run for state senate, when people is running for president, they got to come to Mount Vernon in New York because it's one of the biggest Democratic blocks. Mount Vernon, then Yonkers is right next door, and New Rochelle is right next door. That's like the concentrated of most black and brown people that's in Westchester County.
Okay. All right, let's talk.
Hey, we have people inquiring about your book already. I just want to get it out before we get too far ahead. Yeah, the STEM Radio wants to know, is your book in audio format?
Unfortunately, no. And this is from the person who all I do is listen to books on Audible. But no, I didn't get to that point. It will be, but I can't tell you when. I haven't done that yet. Right now, it's available on Amazon, and I'm selling it kind of like out the trunk. You know, people hit me, Cash App, PayPal, whatever. I mail them an autographed copy. You know what I'm saying? So that's most of the sales have been that way.
I ain't mad, Doc. Get your money, man. Get your money.
Yeah, Amazon take over half the money. Like, yo, real talk, like a label.
Yeah.
Like,
you ain't lying. YouTube does the same thing, y'all. Trust me. Yeah, trust me when I tell you.
You're not selling a book for yourself. You selling a book for Amazon.
Can we jump into a little bit of his hip hop history, Lonzo? Kind of give everybody, an idea.
He and I got a lot of stuff talking. We gotta go get back to hip hop. Go ahead.
We got a legend. I just want to let everybody know, who we have in the building and the impact that they had on hip hop history. I mean, JVC FORCE, dude, big time. I mean, a lot of hip hop heads know you guys, but you underrated, slept on. I feel like you would agree with that, but someone who definitely had an impact. But, the LOX, Heavy D, DMX, Grand Puba, these are just a few of the people who come from the Westchester area. Going back then, was it harder for someone from your area to get recognized because you are outside of the 5 boroughs?
Absolutely. If you were outside of 5 boroughs in both the regions I was in, Long Island and Westchester, you wasn't really considered and respected as real hip hop. Like, you really had to be from Brooklyn or the Bronx or Queens or something. So you had to go harder. You know what I'm saying? You had to prove. And the reason we did Strong Island, getting to that, before we did that record, now we sampled Chuck D. He said, Strong Island, where I got him wildin'. Before that, Rakim said, rough enough to break New York from Long Island, and the only island I was on from the strong one. But outside of New York, if you really didn't know, you didn't know Public Enemy and Rakim wasn't from one of the boroughs. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was really holding it down for Long Island. So we did that joint. B Love, my partner, he wrote most of it. You know what I'm saying? I give him his credit. You know what I'm saying? And we did this joint, and it became the anthem for Long Island, like, you know what I'm saying, which is a very Long Island, and props to everybody who came before us and holds it down. And that's why we did it. We just wanted to pay tribute to where we was at, the same way KRS did with South Bronx, the same way Shan did with Queensbridge, the same way the 150 rappers do about Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, the same way N.W.A and others did about Compton. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just wanted to rep an area that wasn't being repped like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about earlier about not being repped in the 50th anniversary of hip hop. That was something that I felt the same way on the East Coast. Usually, here on the West Coast, usually when they do certain situations, certain events, they always get called the same regular folks, Cube, Dre, Snoop, whatever the case may be. And it's, it's kind of, it's not irritating, but it's kind of annoying for people who paved the way not to get the same shine. And man, when they came out here and did the event at the YouTube theater, we didn't know nothing about it. We didn't know nothing about it. I'm like, how the hell we didn't get tickets to that, man? Could you at least let a brother be in the building? That's kind of disrespect. I feel that we get. I mean, they did all that shit. Flew all the people out here. Had that big old show at the YouTube Theater, which is less than 5 miles from my house, and I didn't hear about it till the night of the show. Man, how does that happen?
In my book, like on my cover, you see Brand Nubians, you see Pete Rock, CL Smooth, you see Heavy D and the Boys, you see DMX, you see the Lox, you see Mary J. Blige. But in the book, I dig into those cats that paved the way, names you don't never know, like the Collins brothers. You know what I'm saying? And all these cats that had the big sound systems that inspired all the cats. That is a brother I talk about. It's a brother in the book, DJ Mark Collins. In 1979, he coined the phrase "money earned in Mount Vernon." You know what I'm saying? It was a concert thing at some prep school in Harlem, and they were raising money for the uniforms. It was DJ, AJ, Grand Wizard Theodores, the L Brothers, Busy B Starsky, Love Bug Starsky, all the legends. And they was there, but they had the biggest sound system. So when they turned their sound system on, they blasted everybody. But when they turned it off, so Busy B was emceeing for the L Brothers. And he got on, he said, I don't know where y'all think y'all from. This is money making Manhattan, not still learning Mount Vernon. And Mark was like, yo, we can't let that ride. And then he thought for a minute, and he was like, nah, money making Manhattan, we money earning Mount Vernon. You know what I'm saying? And then like that became a thing. And he had these girls that rock with him called the Collins girls or whatever they were called, and they were running around the whole thing. Money earned in Mount Vernon, Collins Brothers #1. Money earned in Mount Vernon, Collins Brothers #1. So they would do parties in Philly and Connecticut and everywhere else. And eventually it got shortened down to Money earned in Mount Vernon. And then he did a Sweet 16 party for Heavy D's older sister, for the sister. And they did the same group, the Collins brothers. And when Hev saw them, he brought his parents downstairs and said, this is what I want to do for a living. You know what I'm saying? So and then Hev made the song Money Earned in Mount Vernon and all that. But Mark Collins, the dude you never heard about, the Collins brothers, they coined the phrase and they laid it down for like many of the groups that came out of Mount Vernon. You know what I'm saying? So I pay tribute to all of them. I pay tribute to the early graffiti artists. I used to be a graffiti artist too. I pay tribute to the DJs and the stuff that paved the way. And we lived, the funny thing, we didn't get respect for being from 5 boroughs, but we lived, Mount Vernon is attached to the Bronx. Like there's a borderline, Mount Vernon and the Bronx. I lived on the street, the yellow line in the middle of the street, across the street was the Bronx. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So unlike those cities that didn't pay us no respect, Brooklyn and Queens and all of them, we ain't had to cross no bridge to get to the Bronx. We was attached to them. We was closer. So everything going on in the Bronx was just hiccuping over into like Mount Vernon, into Yonkers. Yonkers is also attached to the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I try to show that, you know, give that history and all that stuff to it and make it fun. You know what I mean? So
who was the first one to come out of a successful artist to come out of Mount Vernon?
Heavy D.
Okay. All right.
Heavy D. He wasn't the first one to make a record or anything, but he was the first one to come out that was successful on that level. You know what I'm saying? They ran up to Def Jam to get a record deal. Andre Harrell was working for Russell, but he was leaving. You know what I'm saying? And he liked what he heard, and he had them hold off until he started his new thing, which was Uptown. And Heaven then was like the first artist signed, and that whole New Jack swing era and all of that came from Heavy D. All of that, you know, all of that stuff came from. And the one thing about Eddie F. So Eddie F is like a musician. So he was attaching hip hop production like an R&B production. So the music was so much fuller, like it was more tighter. It was different than, you know, the break beats that everybody was doing. So that's another thing they kind of set that off and started, you know, so.
You know, I was out last night for a minute, and I had this old 90-seat jump drive in my car, and Heavy D came on, and I was jamming like it's just last night, man. This is just last night. Overweight level, come on, man. I'm just rocking, because you know,
overweight lover Heavy D.
I liked his groove. He seemed like a nice dude. You know, just from his music, he's like, you know him, because like he was a pretty cool dude. Again, he's a Gemini. Birthday was last week. That's I don't know if you knew that or not, but yeah. His birthday was last week, and I was thinking about him. Like I said, I'm rocking to his music last night, and I just think about the various transitions that happened during that era and to what we have currently, and it's a whole. You don't even feel good about the shit. You don't feel nothing about today's hip hop makes you feel good. That has nothing to make you speak. Oh, okay, yeah. Nah, I don't see that.
I do want to, and I should have did this at the beginning. Shout out to my partner Ron B Love and our DJ Kirk Azal. I got into the game with them, and anytime I go on, I represent JVC, even though I'm in Westchester. You know what I'm saying? I got to shout out them because I got to see the world. I got into this game with them. You know what I'm saying? We traveled the world with them.
Always show love to your day ones. Always.
Can you talk about JVC a little bit and the song Strong Island? You know, it had that sample from the lovely Frida Payne. I know you mentioned it. Chuck D was the sample that you used for Strong Island. But who made that beat? And tell us about, you know, when you guys were at the height of your success.
So we were we did a demo. Actually, I'm not on the demo that got assigned. B Love, another dude named Rob, and Kurt did a demo, and like I forgot where they did it at, and you know, it was called New School, and they did this joint, and they B-Boy was the first one to call us, but they wanted something for the B-side just in case. So we went back and did Strong Island. Strong Island would have got assigned to any major label, but it didn't exist. You know what I'm saying? So it was like we did that. When we left that studio, we knew we had something. We didn't know 35 years. It's the 36-year anniversary. You know, 36 years, people would still be bigging it up. But we knew we had something. And it just fell in place. We had a good time making it. We had a good time performing it. I mean, my partner B Love. If we wasn't in music, I known him when I moved to Long Island. I was 7, he was 5. I known him from back then, and he lived around the corner from me. We would be brothers even if there was no music. If we never did music together, that would be my brother. Okay. You know what I'm saying? He live in Georgia now. I'm back in New York. I left Atlanta. I'm back in New York, and but that's my brother though. That's my day one. That's my brother.
That's what's up, dude.
And shout out to Chuck D, because he, they would ask Chuck D like on MTV and Rolling Stone, because he was like the angry black dude, like what's he angry about now? And he'd be talking about something and then shift the gears. You know what I'm really upset about? You know what really makes me angry? Groups like JVC FORCE ain't getting the push that they deserve. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, we sampled him, Strong Island, Where I Got Him Wild, and we sampled his voice without permission on their next album. In the credits, he thanks us, JVC, Strong Island FORCE. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he's always been an advocate for, you know what I'm saying, getting our name out there. So shout out to him. Real shout out. Much respect to him.
Yeah. Okay. Much love.
But yeah, this book, 914, though, I want the purpose of this book. Once you read this book, hopefully when you hear the 914, you put some respect on it. You know what I'm saying? Because you realize the history. We got a cat named TQ. He ended up getting signed to PMD. He was unsigned hype, and he's the first rap artist from the city of White Plains to get a record deal. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot. It's a lot. There's people that people don't know. This dude named Danger Mouse was originally from White Plains.
Of course.
He ended up moving to Georgia. He did a bunch of things. He did this tape called he took the music of the Beatles' White Album, the lyrics of Jay-Z's Black Album, and made the Gray Album.
That's a classic album right there. It's beautiful.
Crazy thing. Then he went on to be the second member of Gnarls Barkley with CeeLo Green. He originally is from, Westchester. So, I tell you, those people that's from here, came from here. Little Kim lived in New Rochelle in her early years. Parents broke up. Mom's moved to New Rochelle. Like, she was there from like 5 to 12 or something like that. Then she moved back to Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? So I talk about all of those, that Westchester even touched their lives. You know what I'm saying? I talk about all of that stuff.
Okay.
That's dope, dude. That's dope.
And I pay tribute to the R&B artists. Stephanie Mills, Atlantic Star, Mary J, Vanessa Williams, and I list all the hip hop records that sampled them. There's a part that, so the show, even an R&B artist with the influence they had over hip hop, because you see all the big names and little names and everybody in between who sampled them. And it shows the records they used and who sampled them, so I pay tribute to them too.
Didn't Fat Joe end up sampling you guys? as well? Did Fat Joe end up sampling y'all?
I don't know. We were sampled a lot. According to Questlove.
Yeah, I think you guys were sampled over like 28 times.
When I first met Questlove, he asked me, how did I feel when Diddy sampled us? And I was like, nah, he used the DeBarge record. You know, same thing we use. He said, no. There's elements that y'all put in that sample that Puff sampled you, not the DeBarge record. And I had to listen to it. I never knew. He put me up on that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm looking at over 28 samples that people have sampled by JVC Force right now.
Yeah, so we wanted to be in the business back then. We didn't really understand the business part of it. We wanted to make records. We wanted to, get our name out there. So our business wasn't really right. B-boy were crooks, like KRS and them said. You know what I'm saying? And they stole. Let's just say they got a lot more of my money than I did. Like I'm saying, and they cheated us out our rights for that first album and everything. But we're remembered for that. And there's a couple of people that did the record over. Keith Murray actually used the beat and did a Strong Island that never got released. There's a young girl in CI now, Central Islip. I think her name is Keda Face, Keda Face. She actually did a Strong Island, and she played it for me when I went to speak out there. So, other people, that beat is crazy. But, I forgot to answer, I didn't answer your question. So we did New School, and they wanted a second record. So Kurt originally sampled a different record for Strong Island, but we was like, that's not it. So B-Love was in college. So B-Love's father's an old Calypso DJ. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of records. And we were listening for a sound. We were looking for a sound. And I asked him, did he have anything by Frida Payne? And he plays the Band of Gold, which is the side one of that thing. And I'm like, that's not it. And he said, it got to be. This was the hit. He said, yo, is there anything on the other side? And he turned it over, dun, 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 the easiest way to fall. I knew about that because a cat named Spontaneous back in the days conned me out of my good times because he was doing a party and gave me that record. So, this is slam. I didn't really know. I was so pissed off when I heard that record. I was like, yo, good times. You cut up good times. I was a DJ. And I was like, yo, I can't do nothing with this. I had to throw the record away. But I remembered it. When it was time looking for that beat. And that ended up being it. And then Kurt's father, I think, had the whole full album. And there was a second joint, the Unhooked Generation, which is the other part of the sample. That comes from the Unhooked. So both of them were records of hers, and it made her go back on the road, and she was performing in overseas, and you know what I'm saying? She started touring again off of it.
Cool. All right, man. There you go.
Nice. I just realized something. I got to take my hat off real quick. Because y'all some attractive, bald-headed gentlemen, and I feel like I need to blend in with y'all, so we're going to do the rest of the interview.
We lived in a sample-friendly era at the time.
Yes, we did.
Because we didn't clear anything, and we sampled all these joints. Yeah. And that Biz case changed it all when they came after him. And there was a big lawsuit. That's his second album after that was called All Samples Cleared. I think that was the name of his album that came out after he went through, because he went through a big thing. They came after him. And then people start going after other groups, you know what I'm saying? But in 87, 88, it was kind of sample friendly still. Like you could actually sample somebody, and because of stuff like that, labels started getting sample clearance departments and listening for stuff. And once in a while, in the beginning, you could get away with it because nobody knew what it was. It was so new. There wasn't even a name for it yet. And then they figured it out, and they said, no. And they changed the game, too. They changed the game. Two of the biggest sample stories, Will Smith, Men in Black, Patrice Rushen, Forget Me Not. They used it for the movie. The movie, Sony didn't clear it. The movie company, the record company didn't clear it. And she waited, and she waited. She waited till the album sold 10 million, until the movie, I forgot, did how many million. Then she put a cease and desist letter. And from what I hear, her grandkids are going to college off of that. You know what I'm saying?
More than that.
You know what I'm saying? And then you heard the Puffy Sting story. Puff still had to pay the equivalent of $2,000 something a quarter. It's $2,000 a day. That's what it comes out to for the rest of his life. For that joint he did with
I'll be missing you.
Yeah.
That record came
So-
out fast. I mean, it was one Biggie had passed one day. Record came out a week later, and I remember that. I said, "Boy, I was wondering because it was a straight rip. Wasn't even no remake. It was like, give me that." And
Like Master P did with you, Lonzo.
Yes, he did. Wait till they got to 200. I did the same thing Patrice did. Wait till they got to about 200,000. Give me my money. I need to get paid. Don't even try it. Hey, it is what it is. That's part of the game, Doc. That's part of the game.
Another story, real quick. Sade in the love scene of that movie where Julie Roberts plays the prostitute and what's that? Pretty Woman or whatever that movie was. The producer made the mistake of telling Sade he wrote the movie with that scene, with that music in mind, and she held off, and then she eventually they had to pay some outrageous amount of money to use it, and she only let them use it in the movie, not the DVDs or other stuff. Like she was gangster with hers. Like he wasn't. Yeah, that was another big story. Somebody getting paid like crazy.
Yeah, that's dope. Hey, can you there's conflicting stories about, going back to JVC Force, at one time you guys eventually parted ways, but there's conflicting stories. It was said you left the group. It was said you were kicked out. I mean, we have the man right here. What's the reason why you left JVC Force?
So creative differences, and by any means, by whoever's telling the story today, whoever's telling the story that day, I either got kicked out or I left. So, one of those when you go to your job and you say you're fired, you be like, no, I'm not fired, I quit. So, I mean, it's probably a combination of the both, though. I do want to say one more thing, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
On that album that Strong Island's on, there's a track called Style and Lyrics. I want you to listen to the fourth verse, my verse. I am the first person spelling everything out before DMX and K Solo, because they were both in jail back when that record came out. They came out a year or so later. And if you play that record, Style and Lyrics, the fourth verse, I am spelling out most of my verse. And I was doing the spelling
That's
thing.
Huge,
I was doing the spelling thing before both of them. Yeah.
Wow, because that's been a big beef between them. They even made a beef episode about it, where who came up with that style, K Solo.
So I know the story though. So DMX went to a party in the Hamptons, and being a street dude, he was walking the street, like going to the store to get a 40 or something. It's not an area where you walk around. I think they were in a stolen car or something, and this man got picked up and pointed him out. He ends up getting arrested. So he's arrested in Suffolk County, and he's in Riverdale. Kevin Madison, who I went to middle school with, K Solo, he got into a fight with some white boys across the street from me, and they jumped him, and he picked up a brick and hit this dude named Corky in the head. You can still see the brick implant in his head for a while. They said that he attacked them. So Solo and DMX are in jail together. Solo supposedly is in the PC part, but there's a fence separating them when they go out in the yard. So DMX was eating everybody up, and he heard this kid named Solo was nice, so they battled through the fence. And his last rhyme was the spellbound rhyme. And according to DMX, he asked him, how do you do that? You know what I'm saying? How do you? And he was like, it's pretty easy to let us spell together. So here's a part of the story that nobody knows. So I was dating this girl, and I was seeing this girl, and Solo was dating her sister. So when they got out of jail, they brought him to my house. I put him in the studio with Kurt, and he did the original Spellbound. But we were between labels at the time. We got off B-Boy. We wasn't on Atlas yet. And then Kurt, I think, did something kind of funny, letting people hear it or something or whatever, something. So there was a little beef between Solo and he left, and then he ended up getting with Eric and Parrish, and then they redid the song, and then, the song version you heard. So I was involved in that too. So I was like, he came to my house. I put him in the studio first. Yeah.
It's more history there.
That's history right there, Blair. That's history.
That's why I'm
love that.
kind of
Anything else, Lonzo, before we wrap it up?
Huh?
Oh, keep going, bro. Keep going.
We got about 5 minutes.
Oh, no. That's why I got so much. I'm doing this politics stuff, and activism stuff and all the stuff with Black Westchester, but I got a chance to tap into my hip hop roots and do this book. And I'm telling you, if you're a hip hop head, even if you don't know what the 914 is, you'll learn a lot, you'll hear a lot. There's a tribute section to DMX. There's a tribute section to Heavy D. There's a list of like all the people Pete Rock did production for. There's a joint called a plethora of posse cuts and collabos. Anybody who ever collaborated with a Westchester artist, it's all of that. Like I said, it's a list of all our R&B groups who sampled them. It's like, it's just full. I was down with Ego Trip back in the days with a magazine called On The Go, and Ego Trip did that book of lists. I'm in that book like 3 times, JVC and me personally. But so I have a couple of lists, like the book of lists. Like, I list things out. Got Heavy D as far as his acting career. I got Lord Jamal's acting career, Mary J. Blige and DMX acting career. That's in there. You know what I'm saying? The hip hop execs. It's just, if you love hip hop, you're gonna love this book.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't wait to read it. I'm personally gonna buy one tonight, just for the love of hip hop and just to show support and just to learn something, because there are very few outlets where you can actually learn something, and I'm very interested in learning about the 914. And I encourage everybody out there to cop it as well in the chat.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can get it on Amazon, or my social media handle is, as you see under my name, at Mr. AJ Woodson. My email address is mrajwoodson@gmail. If you want to get it directly from me, hit me. I'll give you my Cash App, my PayPal, my Venmo. You hit me, your address, and I will mail you an autograph copy. You know what I'm saying? So, I make more if you buy it directly from me. But buying it from Amazon, I still eat off Amazon, but I make more if you buy it from me, though. So,
all right, there you go.
I'm buying it from you. I'll buy it directly from you, brother.
How you do it? That way you get an autograph copy, personally autographed, right?
Yeah. I autograph every book and I mail it out. You know what I'm saying? Might take a couple of days, but I hit the post office a couple of days a week, and I mail everything out.
That'll work.
Can I ask you a question before you go about the West Coast really quick?
Absolutely.
If you don't mind,
shout
out to my boy D Wise. The Bums, Badass Brothers Under Madness. The Bums, D Wise. That's my dude.
Okay.
He gives us lots of love. Lots of love. And shout out to go ahead.
No, keep going. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's a slight echo on my end, so I apologize if I talk over
you. There's a DJ
I would love to know. I would love
to
know your thoughts of when you first heard when you first got wind of what Alonzo and them were doing, on the West Coast with World Class Wrecking Crew. Did you have a big idea of what they were doing on this side of town?
I heard the record and I heard it, but I knew more about them after N.W.A. You know what I'm saying? Like the first group I knew Ice-T and what he was doing. Like we were up on that. There was a couple of other people that did stuff, but N.W.A. was the first group I was really like, oh shit, where are they from? Like, Who's this? And then I did a deep dive like I always do. Then I found out the World Class Wrecking Crew. Then I found out all the things Alonzo did. Then I found out about what was the group? Uncle Jam's Army. Did I say that right? And all the people that came before. Like I had to do a deep dive because we wasn't up on y'all on what was going on, and you know what I'm saying? So I really started checking out. Too Short was really into the Too Short era, that whole his era. There's a lot of people. Shout out to K-Day. I don't know. I've heard from them people in a long time. The reason any of y'all heard me out there is because K-Day, which was one of the first 24-hour hip hop radio stations, K-Day played us all the time. They gave us mad love. So shout out to K-Day. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sway and Tech. They showed us lots of love. You know what I'm saying? I can't remember everybody. Those are the main 2 I can remember real quick. But there was mad people that showed us love. And shout out to Digital Underground. I met Shock over here in Harlem. You know what I'm saying? And he was telling me how much we was rocking in the Bay, how much our joint was kicking off in the Bay. We didn't even know it. You know what I'm saying? So
we gotta wrap up, Dusty. AJ, we gotta roll, baby.
Thank you very much, brother.
Man. Pick up his book on Amazon, folks. We got our own thing available on Amazon, or hit him up, get it direct. You know how we do it.
No doubt.
Much love, AJ.
Thank you, brother.
My pleasure. Thank you for letting me talk on your forum and sharing your forum with me. Much respect.
Much love. All right, Dusty, it's time to roll out, baby. It's about that time, Doctor.
Another classic one.
Huh?
Another classic one, Lonzo. And next week, guys, should we tell them who we have next week?
No, we ain't gonna tell them shit.
All right, we ain't gonna say nothing. It's gonna be a nice surprise. All I'm gonna say is tune in next week. All right, Lonzo, hit him with that rap, man.
All right, for those who never heard of me, I'm the first one to put Dr. Dre in the surgery, stuck Ice Cube in the freezer till he got cold. On the eve after dark, 50-yard line at the Super Bowl. In the movie Straight Outta Compton, they played me like a hater of rap. Don't believe that Hollywood bullshit, because it was all cap. My history goes deeper than most of y'all will ever know. Just remember that N.W.A. stands for Not Without Alonzo. Peace, folks.